You're live. All right. There we go. That's better. So this is attempt number 2, y'all. I got all the way through the Cleric when doing my review of the 2024 Player's Handbook before I realized that I was not actually live. I clicked start streaming in OBS, and I forgot to hit go live on YouTube. So, it feels good to have your work kind of go down the drain like that. That's fun. It's fun. It's fine. Anyway, welcome. This is going to be my overview of the 2024 Player's Handbook and all of its classes. I am a Master Tier subscriber to D&D Beyond, and so I have a little bit of early access to the book. I got it about a week ago, and I decided to study up a little bit and then wanted to put out my thoughts on the new Player's Handbook. I know there's been some controversy going around about D&D Beyond, especially with them wanting to make the 2014 Player's Handbook unavailable, and also with the open game license as the book was being put together. I am in kind of an interesting situation where as a subscriber and as someone who has purchased a lot of books on D&D Beyond, and as someone who shares that content with my table, it's not very easy for me to just say, yeah, I'm going to move off of D&D Beyond. And so I want to use this position that I've been put in to kind of say, hey, I have access to the book. I'm going to put my thoughts and perspectives out there. And you can feel free to use this as kind of a stepping off point on whether or not you want to continue to stay subscribed to D&D Beyond. If you want to buy the Player's Handbook, if you are saying, you know what, it's not worth it for me, I'm going to move to a different game system. I'm just putting my thoughts out there. So if you're not in the position that I'm in, you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to continue with D&D Beyond. So I am not being sponsored by D&D Beyond in any sort of way for this video. I am simply just putting my thoughts out there for the world to see and seeing what comes of it. So I did go through some of the book already. Like I said, I streamed some of it. Turned out I wasn't live. But everything that you see kind of in the introduction, everything you see in the introduction and chapter 1 and chapter 2 is all pretty much the same. And so if you are someone who is familiar with D&D, then there's not going to be much new here. If you are new to D&D, definitely buy 2024 over 2014. That's going to be my blanket statement for this. It's all updated, it's streamlined, and there's very few things that I would say are downgrades from 2014. Most of it's been streamlined, or gives extra uses, or clarifies things. Very, very few times would I say use this 2014 rule over the 2024 rule, but there will be a little bit of that. So I'm going to skip over chapters 1 and 2. I'm going to go straight to the meat of this, which is chapter 3, which is character classes. But if you see something on this list that you would like covered more specifically, then feel free to let me know and I'll go back and cover it. But I will cover the character classes and the character origins and look at the feats, and then definitely the mastery properties of weapons. And then I'll click on magic items. I don't know if there's actually going to be anything there, but crafting equipment I know has some new stuff. And then Maybe I'll do a separate video going through spells because that's already a lot. And so we'll see how I do getting through the classes. Because like I said, I got through the Cleric last time and my throat started hurting. So at the very least, I'll try to get through the classes today and then make another video at the very least on some of the other things. But yeah, let's get started. No use for me to waste words here. So let's click over to the Barbarian. We got some cool art here that I'll bring up, and I'm just gonna make a Barbarian thumbnail. Woo! Ooh. Yeah, that's my rage face. I don't know. We gotta make thumbnails here, guys. Gotta work for a living. All right. I actually kind of made it smaller than what it actually looks like. So I don't know. Barbarian. All right, that's my thumbnail. All right. All right. So Barbarians. We're gonna scroll down. We get Rage at level 1. This is a lot of the same. We have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. The damage you deal to targets using a strength weapon, you get a bonus for. And that's the same. Advantage on strength checks and saves. That's the same. Still no spells. And it lasts for 10 minutes if you continue to attack an enemy or have them make a saving throw. Or you can take a bonus action to extend your rage, which is really nice. You get your unarmored defense as normal. You get your weapon mastery, which a lot of great features in my opinion, and I will cover that all at once. I'll do one long weapon mastery segment. For danger sense, you have advantage on dexterity saving throws, which is cool. They removed some of the restrictions on that. Reckless attack is the same. You get advantage on your attacks, but people have advantage against you, and that's still strength only. Primal Knowledge is now official Barbarian content. It's baked into the class. It was an optional feature from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Extra attack, still cool. Fast movement, I believe that's also a Tasha's Cauldron of Everything bonus feature. Feral Instinct gives you advantage on initiative rolls. Instinctive Pounce, as part of the bonus action you take to enter your rage, you can move up to half your speed. Now, Brutal Strike is the new feature that I enjoy. I'm a little mixed on, I'll put it that way. When you do your reckless attack, you forego advantage, but you deal extra damage, 1d10, and then you get an extra effect. You either push the target or reduce their speed. I'm a big fan of pushing. Any sort of forced movement is really good. If you're fighting on the edge of a cliff or on a castle, it's really great to kind of just knock someone off and they will take a lot of fall damage and the encounter is over. The other thing, don't tell your DMs I told you this. When you're pushing someone 15 straight away from you. Oh, okay, 15 straight away from you. Okay, never mind. Because of that word straight, right? If it was just the target is pushed 15 feet away from you, then I would say that up is a direction of your choice. Sometimes it'll say that in a direction of your choice. It doesn't say in a direction of your choice, it says straight away from you. So you can still knock someone off a cliff. You can't knock them up. I feel like that would be cool, but yeah. Relentless Rage, if you drop to 0 hit points, you can instead of going to 1 hit point, now your hit points change to a number equal to twice your Barbarian level. So at this level, you would get 22 hit points. That's cool. And then, of course, Every time you use this feature, the DC increases by 5 for you to go unconscious. Level 13, your Brutal Strike improves. You get 2 more options. Either the target has disadvantage on their next saving throw and it can't make opportunity attacks, or the next attack roll made by another creature against the target gets +5. So it's cool, it stacks with advantage. And so you can use another way for your friend to get advantage, and then they also get +5. So that is nice. So then Persistent Rage, when you roll initiative, you regain all expended uses of your rage, and you get that once per long rest. So you basically, if you have an extra combat that was unanticipated in your adventuring day, and you have no uses of rage left, you get them all back. That's nice. And your rage also lasts for 10 minutes without needing to extend it, unless you're unconscious, which, makes sense. Or still no heavy armor. At level 17, improved Brutal Strike, your damage becomes 2d10, and you can use 2 different Brutal Strike effects whenever you use the feature, which I think is fantastic. I think that is an awesome buff to maybe get the Barbarian closer in power level to some of the casters, because you can do some pretty crazy stuff with those Brutal Strike effects. You can combo those in a lot of different ways. Maybe still not on the same power level, but I still think it helps. Indomitable Might. If your total for a strength check or strength save is less than your strength score, then you use your strength score instead. That's not new. And then you get an epic boon, which every class will get, and Primal Champion, your strength and con increase by 4 to a maximum of 25. That way, if you have an epic boon that increases your strength, then that point isn't wasted. Your score can go up by 1 and then go up by 4 for a maximum of 25, which works well with your Indomitable Might. Let's take a look at the subclasses. Moving my cough drop around. The Path of the Berserker I really like. Previously, when you used Frenzy, you would get an extra attack that you could make as your bonus action, and then you would also suffer exhaustion. Both of those things are gone. Instead, you just get extra damage according to your... you get a number of d6s equal to your rage damage bonus. And that is against the first target that you hit on your turn. And that is a huge buff. Really like that. You are immune to Charm and Frightened while you are raging. When you take damage from a creature within 5 feet of you, you can make a melee attack against that creature, which used to be the higher level feature. Now those have swapped, and what used to be in this place, the Intimidating Presence, got a huge buff. It's every creature within 30 feet of you. It used to just be one creature. So that is fantastic as well. On a failed save, they are frightened, and you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, or you can use it again if you expend a use of rage, which I don't have to tell you. It's awesome that you get to reuse your features. Moving on to the Path of the Wild Heart. This is formerly known as the Path of the Totem Warrior, but I think they renamed it for Baldur's Gate, and then they changed it for this book as well. You get 2 spells. That is the same. The Rage of the Wilds. Now you pick a totem animal, and they changed up all the totem animals so that it's clear that you don't have to pick the same one. Bear Totem, or Bear Primal Power. I don't know. If you choose Bear, you're resistant to everything except for Force, Necrotic, Psychic, and Radiant. Kind of broadens that a little bit, which I think is fair. It is a nerf, but it is fair. When you rage, you can take dash and disengage actions as a bonus action. And for the wolf, your allies have advantage if you are close to an enemy. Level 6, you can get dark vision or extend your dark vision if you already have it, or you get a climb speed, or you get a swim speed. All very nice. The level 10 feature, you can cast Commune with Nature. I believe that is the same, except they took out some of the text about choosing an animal to guide you. And then level 14, you can gain a fly speed when your rage is active. Or you can impose disadvantage on targets other than you or someone using this same ability, so you can't really choose that. And then your other option is to cause a large or smaller creature to fall prone when you hit it, which is nice because then you get advantage on subsequent attacks. You can then forego... Oh, no, you can't forego that advantage. It has to be with your reckless attack. So that's a little strange, but advantage is advantage, and that's nice. All right. That brings us to the Path of the World Tree, which is a new subclass for this book, and I'm very excited about this. If I were to play a Barbarian, this is probably the Barbarian that I would play. When you rage, you gain temporary hit points. And at the start of each of your turns, when your rage is active, you can give temporary hit points to your friends. At level 6, when a creature starts its turn within 30 feet of you, it has to make a strength saving throw or be teleported to within 5 feet of you. And then after the target teleports, you can reduce its speed to 0 until the end of the current turn. The cool thing about this is that it can be used offensively or defensively. Let's say an enemy starts its turn within 30 feet of you, is going to attack the squishy wizard. You can say, nope, reaction, you're coming to me, make a strength save, and sorry, the only target that you have around is me. The opposite side of that is, hey, it's now the wizard's turn, and the wizard really needs to get out of melee range without provoking opportunity attacks. Hey, wizard, choose to fail your strength save. You're coming to me, and I'm going to choose not to reduce your speed because you can reduce its speed. I'm going to say no, and then you can feel free to take your turn and get out of here. Get out of the way, cast Fireball. Great feature. I love it. All right, level 10 is Battering Roots. Your reach is 10 feet greater with any melee weapon that is heavy or versatile, and you can activate the Push or Topple Mastery property in addition to any other properties that weapon has. And so, great use of the new Mastery properties. You can push them 10 feet, or they have to make a save or be knocked prone. Again, love both of those abilities. Plus, you get to stack it with other Mastery properties. So you probably would not want Push or Topple, but you can choose something that has another Mastery property that you like, and you get to activate two at the same time, which is great. And then finally, level 14, you just get some crazy teleportation. As a bonus action, while your rage is active, you can teleport 60 feet to a place that you can see. And once per rage, you can teleport 150 feet. So, hey, knock some bandits into the ravine, and then bring up to 6 willing creatures with you and teleport across the ravine and get away. That is just so cool. It gives the Barbarian the versatility that I've craved from martial characters. And very few martial classes have actually fulfilled that for me. And so I think things like this and things like the Mastery properties, they really, really, really help. The last one that we're looking at for the Barbarian is the Path of the Zealot. And this one has changed a lot, but I miss some of the some of the features that made it harder for you to die, but like I said, you come out with a lot more versatility with the Barbarian. So the Divine Fury, when you deal some extra damage when you hit with a weapon. Not as much as the Frenzy of the Berserker Barbarian, but you do deal some solid damage. Also at level 3, you have 4d12s to heal yourself, and that's it. The number of dice increases as you level up. It does increase your survivability. It's not the same as I believe it was Rage Beyond Death. Like when you're like at 0, like your rage doesn't end, I believe. And you can, even though you're making death saves, you just don't die. Instead, you get some healing. And then if you fail a saving throw, you can re-roll it with a bonus equal to your rage damage bonus. That's the same, minus the bonus. So just a little bit of a buff there. As a bonus action, you can grant advantage to up to 10 other creatures on their attack rolls and saving throws. And unlike in 2014, you can expend a use of your rage in order to do it again. And then finally, level 14. This is pretty cool, I have to admit. For 1 minute, or until you drop to 0 hit points, you have a fly speed, and you can hover. You have resistance to necrotic, psychic, and radiant damage. And when a creature within 30 feet of you drops to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction to change the target's hit points to a number equal to your Barbarian level. So at this point, it would be level 14. Overall, I like the changes to the Barbarian. I think it makes it more fun for me to play. We did lose some stuff with the Zealot Barbarian, but overall, class as a whole, I'd say net positive. Next up is going to be the Bard. Let's look at this Bard. Yes, the Bard! Thumbnail. Woo! Got it. I'm excited for the Bard. Most of it has stayed the same. You get spellcasting, you get expertise at level 2 instead of level 3. Jack of all trades is the same. Font of Inspiration, you get your Bardic Inspiration back on a short rest, and you can use a spell slot to regain expended uses of Bardic Inspiration. Love that versatility. Counter Charm is actually good. It's actually a counter. Rather than having to use a bonus action, you now use your reaction, so that they can an ally can re-roll a save with advantage now against something that is causing them to be charmed or frightened. Level 10, Magical Secrets, got a nerf. It's now from 4 specific spell lists: Bard, Cleric, Druid, and Wizard, instead of any spell list, so you can't steal stuff from like the Paladin or the Ranger and actually get access to it before they do. It makes sense. I'm not mad. Maybe a little disappointed. Level 18, Superior Inspiration. If you roll initiative, you go up to 2 Bardic Inspiration die. I actually had to read that one a couple of times to figure it out. But essentially, if you have either 0 or 1 uses of Bardic Inspiration, you bump it up to 2. Level 19, Epic Boon. And then Words of Creation, you have Power Word, Heal, and Kill prepared. And you can add a second target to those spells, assuming that they're within 10 feet of each other. Not the best capstone, but hey, free 9th level spells prepared. I'm not upset at it. Like I said, maybe a little disappointed. But hey, what you gonna do? We get 2 free spells. That's nice. I'm not gonna go through the whole spell list for every class. Again, if there's a desire for it, then I will make that into another video. In this book, we get the College of Dance, which is brand new to D&D. When you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you get advantage on performance checks involving dance. Your armor class is 10 plus dexterity and charisma. When you use a bardic inspiration die at using any sort of action, you can make an unarmed strike as a part of that action, bonus action, or reaction. And you can use dexterity instead of strength for your unarmed strikes, and the damage equals your bardic inspiration die, which is pretty cool. So if you want to be a monk with spells, College of Dance Bard. Level 6, Inspiring Movement. When an enemy you can see ends their turn within 5 feet of you, use your reaction and one use of bardic inspiration to move up to half your speed. And then one ally can do the same thing as a reaction, and none of it provokes opportunity attacks, which is always nice. Level 6, when you roll initiative, you can expend one use of your bardic inspiration, and each ally within 30 feet of you gains a bonus to their initiative equal to the number rolled, which is great for getting your party to go first. Level 14 is Leading Evasion. This is essentially the rogue's evasion. If you make a dex save and you fail, you take half damage. If you would take half damage, you take no damage. And the bonus here is that if anyone's within 5 feet of you making the same saving throw, then they get to do this as well. Very, very nice. Next up is the College of Glamour. I'm going to take a sip from my drink here. My wife is actually playing a Glamour Bard in one of our campaigns right now. You get Charm Person and Mirror Image prepared. And whenever you cast an enchantment or illusion spell using a spell slot, you can cause a creature you can see within 60 feet of you to make a wisdom save, and they are either charmed or frightened. Interestingly, doesn't have to be the person who was the target of the spell, if there was a target. And then they get a save at the end of each of their turns. Once per long rest, but you can also restore it by using a bardic inspiration. Love to see that. Let's see, Mantle of Inspiration. This one was confusing as well. I believe you expend a use of bardic inspiration as a bonus action. Choose a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier within 60 feet. And those creatures gain temporary hit points equal to 2 times the number rolled. So there's a few numbers floating around there, but essentially choose a number of creatures within 60 feet of you equal to your charisma modifier, roll the dice, double it, they get that much temporary HP. And then they can use their reaction to move their speed without provoking opportunity attacks. The Mantle of Majesty hasn't changed as far as I can tell. You always have Command prepared, and as a bonus action you can cast Command without using a spell slot. And then for the next minute you can cast Command without expending a spell slot. Any creature charmed by you automatically fails. And you can do that once per long rest, but you can also use a level 3 or higher spell slot, which is cool. The downside here is Unbreakable Majesty, which also uses a bonus action. And so setting this up can be kind of weird. You can do bonus action Command, start your... You bonus action to do Unbreakable Majesty, and then for the 1 minute is the duration. whenever any creature hits you with an attack roll for the first time on a turn, so any turn, they need to succeed on a charisma saving throw against your spell save, or the attack misses instead. And this one is once per short or long rest. So you can activate that, and then second turn, bonus action command to activate your Mantle of Majesty. Unfortunately, they don't synergize together. Disappointing, but hey, what you gonna do? They are both good features. I will say that. College of Lore is probably one of the most beloved subclasses. You get 3 skills of your choice. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself makes a damage roll or succeeds on an ability check, you can use a reaction, expend your inspiration, roll the inspiration die, subtract that number, reducing the damage, or turning the success into a failure. I don't think that's different. Level 6, Magical Discoveries from one of the 3 spell lists. Again, not any spell list. Understandable. The cool thing is that you can replace these spells when you level up, so that's nice. And then finally, Peerless Skill. When you make an ability check or an attack roll and you fail, you can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration, roll the die, and add the number to the d20, potentially turning a failure into a success. But if you fail, the Bardic Inspiration die isn't expended. Love that. That means I get to do more cool stuff, as well as, I believe last time it was just an ability check, also now works on attack rolls. Cool. And then finally, that brings us to the College of Valor for the Bard. We have Combat Inspiration. You can either use it for defense, when a creature is hit by an attack roll. A creature can use its Bardic Inspiration die that you've given it to add to its AC. And for offense, when it hits with an attack roll, they can add the number to the damage against that target. They also get training with martial weapons and medium armor, and you can use a weapon as your spellcasting focus. You get extra attack with the added bonus of being able to use a cantrip in place of one of those attacks. And finally, level 14, after you cast a spell that has a casting time of an action, you can make 1 attack with a weapon as a bonus action. The cool thing here, this is great synergy on this subclass, because with your level 6 feature, you are using a cantrip with a casting time of an action. And a cantrip is a spell and it has a casting time of 1 action. So what you could do here is make your attack, replace one of the attacks with a cantrip, and then bonus action attack. And so at level 14, you still get to use your extra attack and you can cast a cantrip. I think it's a win-win. So, oh, my cough drop betrayed me. It was stabbing me in my cheek. So that's the Bard. Next up is going to be the Cleric. Woo! I'm gonna take a short break, stream-wise, and then we will come back to the Cleric. So here we go. right. Here we are back again with the Cleric. Thumbnail. All right. Is that not too much? Right there. All right. Cool. We're back. I got my thumbnail. We are continuing on with the Cleric from the 2024 Player's Handbook. Lots of cool quality of life changes here. Like I said, not going through spell casting. That'll be a different video if you guys want it. Level 1, you can choose to go the martial route with martial weapons and heavy armor. Or you can go the spell casting routes. You get an extra cantrip and a bonus to Arcana and Religion checks equal to your Wisdom modifier. Channel Divinity gives you a couple options, and you start out with 2 Channel Divinity uses, which is really cool. And then those come back on, you can get 1 back on a short rest, and all of them back on a long rest. You can do Divine Spark using the magic action. And you can roll 1d8, add your Wisdom modifier to restore hit points, or to deal radiant or necrotic damage to them, your choice. And then you roll an additional d8 as those things level up, kind of scales like a cantrip, which I think is cool. And then of course you get Turn Undead. Each undead within 30 feet of you makes a Wisdom saving throw. It is of your choice, so if you, for some reason, have someone in your party with an undead feature, I don't know, then they do not have to make it, unless you want them to. If they fail, they are frightened and incapacitated for 1 minute, and they have to move as far away from you as they can. And then the effect ends early if they take any damage. If they have the incapacity condition, or if you die. And that's cool. That's each undead, and it takes away the CR rating for that. At level 5, that becomes Seer Undead instead of Destroy Undead, but it will still destroy low-level undeads. So when you use Turn Undead, roll a number of d8s equal to your Wisdom modifier, and each undead that fails its saving throw takes radiant damage equal to the roll's total. So you can still deal damage to higher level undead and still destroy lower level undead, because you couldn't just deal damage before. So level 7, Blessed Strikes is another martial versus spellcaster choice. You either get to add 1d8 necrotic or radiant damage, or you get to add your Wisdom modifier to your cantrips. The first one is, of course, attack rolls with a weapon. You add the 1d8, and then the second is the cantrip. Those were both subclass options, and same with the proficiencies earlier. But now it's kind of just baked into the core class. At level 10, Divine Intervention has changed. I'm not really angry about it. As a magic action, choose any cleric spell, 5th level or lower, that doesn't require a reaction to cast, and you can do so without a spell slot or material components. This is really cool because you can use Revivify or even Raise Dead for free, and you don't need any material components, so no diamonds. So that's nice. And that's once per long rest. And level 14, improved Blessed Strikes. If you go the martial routes, then that's 2d8 instead of 1d8. And if you are casting a cantrip and deal damage with it, then you can grant temporary hit points equal to twice your Wisdom modifier to yourself or to a friend. Of course, you get an epic boon, which we'll cover in a different video, and Greater Divine Intervention, which allows you to cast the Wish spell, which then in turn allows you to cast any spell of 8th level or lower, in addition to a bunch of other stuff. Then we're going to skip the Cleric spell list. If you want to see me go through the spells, let me know, and I'll make a different video on that. We have first the life domain, which I believe is more or less the same. If you want to heal, this is the subclass for you. When you use a spell slot and cast a spell that restores hit points, then you get extra healing equal to 2 plus the spell slot's level. You get your domain spells, and as a magic action, you can expend Channel Divinity to restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your cleric level. The person or people that you heal have to be bloodied, which means half HP or lower, and you can only bring them up to half HP. So you can't really use this as a top off. It's more of like, ah, crap, you're all down. Everybody's back up. And so that can come in pretty clutch, I'd say, if you are the designated healer. Even if you're not, still. Let's see, level 6, Blessed Healer. When you heal others with a spell slot, casting a spell that restores hit points to someone other than yourself, you regain hit points equal to 2 plus the spell slot's level. Nothing crazy there. And then Supreme Healing, instead of rolling for healing, you do the max, highest number possible for each die. So nothing crazy with the life domain. It's kind of bread and butter cleric. Alright, the light domain. You get your light domain spells, and you get Radiance of Dawn. You can use your Channel Divinity to create light within 30 feet of you, 30-foot emanation out from you. Any magical darkness is dispelled, and each creature of your choice needs to make a saving throw or take radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus your cleric level, as the light blinds them and deals damage. It doesn't actually blind them, it just deals damage, it looks like. Yeah, the next one? No, next one doesn't blind them either. Okay. Warding Flare. If someone is attacking you, take a reaction, impose disadvantage with your flare. And you can do that a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you get those back on a long rest. Then you can improve your Warding Flare at level 6. You regain your expended uses on a short or long rest, and you can use your Warding Flare. When you use your Warding Flare, the recipient, the person benefiting from that, also gets temporary hit points equal to 2d6 plus your wisdom modifier. And then Corona of Light, you make some sunlight, I believe. Is that? Yeah. Aura of Sunlight lasts for 1 minute. Bright Light for 60 feet. Dim Light for another 30 feet. Anyone in the bright light enemies in the bright light have disadvantage on saving throws against Radiance of Dawn, and any spells that deal fire or radiant damage. And you can use that a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain your uses when you finish a long rest. I think the old version of that, you just get 1 use, and so I like that it's tied to your wisdom modifier now. Next we have the Trickery domain, which I think got some improvements. You can give yourself or a friend advantage on dexterity stealth checks, and I believe it lasts until you finish a long rest or until you use it again. I believe the old feature, you could only use it on an ally, you couldn't use it on yourself, which didn't make a lot of sense. You get your domain spells, and you can invoke Duplicity. You can cast spells from the illusion's space. You kind of project an illusion of yourself within 30 feet. And you can use your illusion to distract another creature if you're within 5 feet of it. You have advantage on attack rolls against that creature. This is kind of, I think, a really good melee-focused cleric. And then as a bonus action, you can move the illusion up to 120 feet from yourself. At level 6, when you move the illusion, as a bonus action, you can teleport, swapping places with it, which is nice. And so you can potentially get 120 feet of... where did we go? Yeah, 120 feet of teleportation by doing that. And then level 17, they did away with having multiple duplicates because that really didn't help at all. And instead, when you and your allies are making an attack roll and that creature is within 5 feet of your illusion, the attack rolls have advantage, which is cool. And when the illusion ends, your creature of your choice within 5 feet of it regains hit points equal to your cleric level. Doesn't really fit thematically, but hey, you know, it's a free feature, we'll take it. Finally, we have the War Domain. And War Domains get Guided Strike. When you or a creature miss with an attack roll within 30 feet of you, you can give that plus 10 to hit. And if you give it to someone else, they have to take their reaction to receive that plus 10. Not... I feel like it's not a worthwhile distinction to make. I don't know why they added that, but oh well. You also get your War Domain spells. And then you get War Priest. You can, as bonus action, make a weapon attack. You can use that a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier, and those come back on a shorter long rest. Level 6, you get Shield of Faith and Spiritual Weapon for free. You don't need to cast a spell slot. You instead use your Channel Divinity. And if you do it this way, it doesn't require concentration, which Spiritual Weapon now requires concentration. Which I believe it didn't before. And then at level 17, very simply, you gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Not crazy capstone, but hey, you know, we'll take it. Next up, we are going to be looking at the Druid. Now I'm going to take a sip of water. There we go. Meditate. Okay, thumbnail. Completed. Druid! We're doing the Druid. Reviewing the Druid. You get spellcasting. If you want me to review spellcasting, let me know and I'll make another video. Level 1, Druidic. You always have Speak with Animals prepared. That's nice. And you can use Druidic to leave hidden messages. Let's see, you get a Primal Order. You can be a Magician to learn an extra cantrip and get bonuses to your Arcana and Nature checks equal to your Wisdom modifier. Or you can be a Warden, gaining proficiency with martial weapons and training with medium armor. At level 2, you can Wild Shape. It takes a bonus action, which is nice quality of life improvement instead of needing to take an action as it was in 2014. And you can, everything looks the same, number of hours, half your Druid level, or you can leave early as a bonus action. You can do it twice. You gain 1 expended use on a short rest and all of your uses on a long rest. And you gain additional uses when you reach certain Druid levels. That's nice, because it used to just be, you get 2, and that's all you get. You get 2. It sucks. Alright. Known forms. 1/4 lacks fly speed, that goes up to a half, and then 1. I believe that's the same. You retain your personality, memories, and ability to speak, which is cool. That's new. And let's see, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your Druid level. Your game statistics are replaced by the stat block. You retain your skill and saving throw proficiencies, and you use your proficiency bonus for them, in addition to gaining the proficiencies of the creature. And if a skill or saving throw modifier is higher than yours, then you use the one in the stat block instead. You cannot cast spells while wild shape, but shapeshifting does not break your concentration. I believe that's the same. And your ability to handle objects is determined by your new form. Worn equipment functions as normal, but it must be practical at the DM's discretion. Your equipment doesn't change size or shape to match your new form. Any equipment in the new form, if you can't wear it, it has to fall to the ground or merge with the new form. That's fair. Equipment that merges with the form has no effect while you're in that form. That's a good distinction to make. So your armor might not work if you're transforming into something huge. At level 2, you get Wild Companion. I believe that was a Tasha's rule. That is now official. Let's see. As a magic action, you can expend a spell slot or a use of Wild Shape to do Find Familiar. That's nice that you can do a spell slot now. It was just Wild Shape before. The Familiar is Fey when done in this way, and it disappears after a long rest. Level 3, you get your subclass. Okay, level 5, Wild Resurgence. Once on each of your turns, if you have no uses of Wild Shape left, you can give yourself one by expending a spell slot. No action required. Hey, that's pretty nice. So you can now, at level 5, use your spell slots for extra uses of Wild Shape. In addition, you can expend one use of Wild Shape to give yourself one spell slot, but you can only do that once per long rest instead of once on each of your turns. So you can funnel a lot of spell slots into Wild Shape. Wild Shape, you can only funnel one into spell slots. Level 7, you get Elemental Fury. That means you choose Potent Spellcasting, add your Wisdom modifier to Druid cantrips, which sounds like it would be pretty good for a Shillelagh build, if you want to do that. Or if you're doing that, you might just want to do Primal Strike to deal an extra 1d8 cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. And that is when you're using a weapon or a beast form attack. That's pretty cool. And then level 15, you can increase the range of your Druid cantrips by 300 feet. Oof, if it has a range of 10 feet or greater. That's pretty crazy. Don't know why you would need to cast a cantrip that far, but hey, nice. And then the extra damage of a Primal Strike increases to 2d8, depending on which one you chose. Level 18, you can cast spells in your beast form, except for any spell that has a material component with a cost. So things like your Revivify, Raise Dead, Resurrection, or a lot of higher level spells. You get your epic boon, that'll be in a different video. And Archdruid. Whenever you roll initiative and have no Wild Shape left, you get one use of it. Nature Magician. You can convert uses of Wild Shape into a spell slot. Choose a number of your unexpected uses of Wild Shape and convert them into a single spell slot, with each use contributing 2 spell levels. So if you convert 2 uses of Wild Shape, you produce a 4th level spell slot. That's cool. It gives you a little more going back from Wild Shape to spell slots, where spell slots can easily become Wild Shape. Interesting. There's like a... Oh, and then you can only do that once per long rest. So you can turn spell slots into Wild Shapes, and then use those Wild Shapes to regain a higher level spell slot. So there's a cool transaction you can do there. And then for every 10 years that pass, you only age 1 year. This is the Druid spell list. If you want me to go through all the spells, let me know. That'll be a different video. All right. I'm going to get another cough drop here because I'm doing a ton of talking. All right, Circle of the Land. You get to pick one of these spell lists, either arid, polar, temperate, or tropical. You get Land's Aid. You can use your wild shape. Point within 60 feet of yourself. Flowers and thorns appear in a 10-foot radius sphere. Each creature of your choice makes a con save, taking necrotic damage. And then one creature gains 2d6 hit points. That's fine. And then the damage and healing increase. That's not bad for level 3. It's level 3, I'll give it that. Alright. Natural Recovery. You can cast one of the leveled spells that you have prepared without expending a spell slot, and must finish a long rest to do so again. That's new. That part's new. I think this part's the same. When you finish a short rest, you can choose an expended spell slot to recover. The spell slots... multiple spell slots to recover. The slots can have a combined level equal or less than half of your Druid level rounded up, but none of them can be level 6 or higher. That's cool. I think some of that may have added a caveat there, but more or less the same. Level 10, you are immune to poison. The poison condition, not the poison damage. And you have resistance to a damage type according to your current land choice. Current land choice. Did I miss that you can change it? Oh yeah, whenever you finish a long rest, you can change this out. That's pretty cool. So you're not stuck there. And so at level 10, you can change it based off of like, oh, we're gonna fight a white dragon, so I need lightning resistance, or sorry, cold resistance. Blue dragon is lightning. And then you get Nature's Sanctuary at level 14. As a magic action, you use your wild shape to summon trees and vines, 15-foot cube within 120 feet. They last for 1 minute. You get half cover. And your allies also get to share your resistance. And you can move it around, so that's kind of cool. Not the greatest. Half cover, I believe, is a +2 bonus to AC. For your whole party? Okay, I can't be mad at it. That's pretty good. Not the greatest, but pretty good. Alright. Circle of the Moon. Maximum challenge rating. For your wild shape is your Druid level divided by 3. Your AC is 13 plus your Wisdom modifier, if it's higher than the beast's AC, which is nice. And you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 3 times your Druid level. Remember, temporary hit points do not stack, so it would go default to the higher number. You get your Circle of the Moon spells and your improved circle forms. You gain the following benefits. Each of your attacks in wild shape deals normal damage or radiant damage. That's nice, makes it kind of magical to overcome resistance. And you can add your Wisdom modifier to your Constitution saving throws so that you can continue to concentrate on whatever spell you cast before you went into your circle form. Level 10, you get Moonlight Step. You magically transport yourself. It's a bonus action, teleport 30 feet. And then you have advantage on the next attack roll before the end of this turn. That's scary. Teleporting wolf. Yeah, I would be freaked out. You can use this number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. And you get it back on a long rest. Or you can use a level 2 or higher spell slots to regain your uses of this. That's cool, because this is basically a better Misty Step, honestly. But you get it at level 10. Instead of level 4? 3. Level 3 is the earliest you can get Misty Step. But you get more uses of it. So, anyway. Level 14, you get Lunar Form. So once per turn, you can deal an extra 2d10 radiant damage when you hit with a Wild Shape Form's attack. And whenever you use Moonlight Step, you can also teleport a willing creature. So even more improvement there. They must be within 10 feet of you. And you teleport to another space within 10 feet of your destination. Cool. Next we have the Circle of the Sea, which is new to this book, so I'm going to pay a little closer attention to this. All of that stuff was really cool, because before it was basically just like, yeah, you do the Druid thing better than other Druids. But this actually like improves your damage and your survivability and allows you to teleport and gives you more to do than just like, I'm a wolf now. Okay. Circle of the Sea. You get your circle spells, and you get something called Wrath of the Sea. Expend a use of your Wild Shape to manifest a 5-foot emanation of ocean spray, so 5-foot circle around you, for 10 minutes. When you manifest it, and as a bonus action on your turns, choose another creature you can see within the emanation. They have to make a con save or take cold damage and be pushed 15 feet away from you. And the damage equals a number of d6s equal to your wisdom modifier. Dang, that's pretty good for level 3. What the heck? Because you can get, if you're doing like a custom lineage, you can get an 18 at level 1. Or if you're rolling for stats, but that's hard to verify. But that's 4d6 damage as a bonus action. Dang, that's pretty good. Level 6, Aqua Affinity. That emanation increases to 10 feet. I think it was, yeah, just 5 feet before. And you gain a swim speed equal to your speed. Whew. Doing a lot of talking. Alright, let's see. Level 10 is Stormborn. When your Wrath of the Sea is active, you can also fly. That's cool. And you have resistance to cold, lightning, and thunder damage. Liking that a lot. And then level 14, Oceanic Gift. Instead of the emanation around yourself, you can manifest it around a willing creature within 60 feet of yourselves. And they get all the benefits of the emanation. And they use your spell save DC and wisdom modifier for it. And then you can manifest the emanation around both the other creature and yourself if you expend 2 uses of your Wild Shape instead of 1. So you can now share your Wrath of the Sea benefits with others. I like it. This is a solid subclass. I would consider choosing this. especially if I'm wanting to do like a pirate themed character. I actually have a character in mind that I think I'm going to update to the 2024 rules to use this subclass. I like it. Okay, finally, Circle of the Stars. You get your star map. You get Guidance and Guiding Bolt spells prepared. You can cast Guiding Bolt without using a spell slot. Number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier. That comes back on a long rest. You can also, at level 3, go into your Starry form. So far, nothing different from what I've seen. Did they get? No, they don't get circle spells. Interesting. All right, when in your Starry form, you shed bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for another 10 feet. It lasts for 10 minutes. You can choose Archer when you activate it, and as a bonus action, make a ranged spell attack. And on a hit, it deals radiant damage equal to 1d8 plus your Wisdom modifier. I believe that's the same. The Chalice, whenever you heal someone with a spell that uses a spell slot, you or another creature within 30 feet of you also regain hit points. And then Dragon, when you make an Intelligence or Wisdom check or a Constitution saving throw, you can treat a 9 or lower as a 10. I believe that's all the same. And finally, Cosmic Omen. Whenever you finish that's level 6 Cosmic Omen. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I saw the fighter coming up. Cosmic Omen, whenever you finish a long rest, consult the star map, roll a die. Until you finish your next long rest, gain access to a special reaction based on whether you rolled an even or odd number. If you roll even, then whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to roll a dice, you can use your reaction to roll 1d6 and add the number to the total. If you roll odd, same thing, within 30 feet of you, use your reaction, roll 1d6, and subtract the number from the total. And you can use that reaction number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier, and they come back on a long rest. Level 10, Twinkling Constellations. Your Starry form improves. The 1d8 of the Archer and Chalice become 2d8s. And while you have the Dragon, you have a fly speed of 20 feet and you can hover. And at the start of each of your turns, you can change which constellation you are using. And then at level 14, you are full of stars. And you gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage while in your Starry form. Not the craziest thing, but hey, we'll take it. I think that's pretty much the same as it was in the book it came out in. So, hey, that's the Druid. Next up is going to be the Fighter after a short break, so I can drink some water and rest my voice, and we'll continue forward. So, here we go. right, we are continuing on with the fighter, who's kind of like a tactical assessment. All right, that's the thumbnail. Let's go on with the fighter, 2024 Player's Handbook. I'm gonna go through. I'm excited about some of these things. I think there's some good changes coming. I'm going to go through the fighter and then the class after, which I think is the paladin, if my alphabet is correct. And then that'll be it for today, and I'll pick up in another stream to get those clips of the other half of the classes, because I'm on a bit of a time crunch right now, but not enough that I need to rush through, which is good. So. At level 1, you get a fighting style feat. They are feats now. And whenever you gain a fighter level, you can replace that feat with a different fighting style feat. All of those are, I believe, the same as they were in the 2014 Player's Handbook, plus the ones from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. At level 1, instead of level 2, now you get Second Wind. And as a bonus action, you can regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. You can do so twice instead of once, which is nice. You regain 1 use on a short rest and all of your uses on a long rest. And then you gain more uses as you level up. You also get Weapon Mastery at level 1. I'll cover that in another video, but just want to say I am excited about these Weapon Masteries. I think it adds a lot for martial characters. Level 2, you get Action Surge. On your turn, you can take an additional action, but not the magic action, which prohibits you from doing like the Fireball Action Surge. Fireball. That sucks. But I understand. It was kind of a cheese move. Once you use this feature, you get it back on a short or long rest. At level 17, you can do it twice, but only once on each turn. At level 2, as well, you get Tactical Mind. When you fail an ability check, you can use one of your second wins and add the number to your ability check, potentially turning it into a success. And, this is cool, if the check still fails, you get to keep your use of Second Wind. I like that. Alright, level 5 extra attack, level 5 tactical shift. Whenever you activate your Second Wind with a bonus action, you can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. That's nice. I like that they're throwing a lot more towards avoiding opportunity attacks. I feel like that was kind of a tough thing. When you get into melee, it's hard to get out of melee, so I'm glad they have these options. At level 9, there's a big jump there, from 5 to 9. If you fail a saving throw, re-roll it with a bonus equal to your fighter level. Wow, that is significant. You must use the new roll, and you can't use this feature until you finish a long rest. Dang, that's pretty great, though. You can do this twice per long rest, starting at level 13, and 3 times at level 17. Also at level 9, when you attack with a weapon whose mastery property you can't use, you can replace that property with Push, Sap, or Slow. That's nice. So you get your weapon mastery, but also you have the opportunity, if you have any weapon that you are picking up and you're like, hey, this is nice, you can use Push, Sap, or Slow. Push is 10 feet. Slow, I believe, also slows you by 10 feet. Sap, I will click on this right now. I'll do a more in-depth video, but since we're here. Sap, if you hit a creature with this weapon, that creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of your next turn. Level 11, you get, you can attack 3 times so 2 extra attacks. That's confusing wording. At level 13, if you make an attack roll and miss, you have advantage on your next attack roll against that creature before the end of your next turn. Hey, so if you miss, congratulations, you have advantage. Level 19, Epic Boon. Level 20, 3 extra attacks, which means you attack 4 times whenever you take the attack action on your turn. I feel like that language can get really confusing really quick. Alright, fighter subclasses. Starting with the Battle Master. You get combat superiority, you learn maneuvers, fueled by special dice called superiority dice. They are d8s, and you regain them on a short or long rest. You get additional uses as you level up, and you use strength or dexterity for calculating the difficulty of the saving throws. You gain proficiency with artisan's tools and 1 skill of your choice. I believe that part is new. Not the tool, but the additional skill. Level 7 has a bonus action. You choose a creature within 30 feet, and you learn any immunities, resistances, vulnerabilities of that creature. You can do so once per long rest, but you can restore use of the feature by using a superiority dice. That's new, and I like it. At level 10, your superiority dice level up. At level 15, when you use a maneuver, you can roll 1d8 and use the number rolled instead of expending a superiority dice. So you can use that for other things. And then at level 18, those dice, your superiority dice become d12. Alright, maneuvers. Ambush, stealth, or initiative, add the superiority dice. Bait and switch, within 5 feet of a creature, you switch places, spending 5 movement. They have to be willing, they're not incapacitated, does not provoke opportunity attacks, and one of you gets a bonus to AC. Both of those, ambush, bait, and switch, those I believe are the same. Commander's Strike. Replace one of your attacks by having a companion strike and add the die to the damage. I think that's the same. When you attempt to intimidate, perform, or persuade, you can add your superiority dice with commanding presence. That's the same. To disarm, add the superiority dice to the damage, and then make a strength save. I believe that's the same. Distracting Strike, add the die to the damage. Next attack roll against the target, if someone other than you has advantage. I believe that's the same. I'm just checking just to be sure. The Evasive Footwork, as a bonus action, you can expend superiority die and take the disengage action. That's new. And then add the number rolled to your AC. And it looks like they removed the part about having to continue your movement, which was confusing, so that's nice. Fainting Attack, superiority die. Choose your target within 5 feet of you. You have advantage on your next attack roll, and if it hits, add the superiority die to the damage roll. Goading Attack. When you hit a creature with an attack roll, expend a superiority die, add the die to the damage roll. I'm seeing that a lot. I think there's been some additions of that, so that's good. The target must make a wisdom save or have disadvantage on attack rolls against people other than you until the end of your next turn. That's a pretty long time. Lunging Attack. As a bonus action, use your superiority die to dash. If you move at least 5 feet, before hitting with a melee attack, add the superiority die to the damage. I believe that used to just add range to your attack. I kind of like this a little bit better. The maneuvering attack. Expend a superiority die. There's just a lot of these. Maneuver one of your comrades into another position. Add the die to the damage roll. Choose a willing creature. They use their reaction to move half their speed without provoking opportunity attacks from the target of your attack. I think that caveat was added. And well, actually, I think the whole opportunity attack thing was added altogether. So that's an upgrade, technically. Menacing attack. When you hit a creature with an attack roll, use the superiority die to frighten them. Add the die to the damage. Wisdom saving throw. Frightened until the end of your next turn. Parry. When another creature damages you with a melee attack roll, take a reaction. Spend a superiority die. Reduce the damage by the superiority die plus your strength or dexterity modifier, your choice. Probably one of my least favorite options, but I think it did get buffed. Precision attack. When you miss, spend a superiority die, add it to the attack roll, potentially causing it to hit. The wording of that has changed. I think it makes it better because you get to see that you miss first. Pushing attack. Keep leaning out of frame here. When you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or an unarmed strike, you can expend one superiority die, add the die to the damage. If they're large or smaller, strength save, push 15 feet directly away from you. I believe that language makes it so that you cannot hit them up. I know that was a kind of a cheese move previously. Alright, the end is in sight for these maneuvers. Rally. As a bonus action, use the superiority die. Choose an ally within 30 feet. They gain temporary hit points equal to the superiority die, plus half of your fighter level rounded down. I believe that is improved. Riposte. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, take a reaction, expend the superiority die to make an attack roll with a weapon or an unarmed strike. If you hit, add the superiority die to the damage. I'd rather do that than reduce the damage, honestly. Sweeping attack. When you hit a creature, you can expend a superiority die to damage another creature, as long as they're within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach. If the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it takes damage equal to the number you roll on the superiority die, and the damage type is the same. Tactical assessment. If you make a history, investigation, or insight check, you can add your superiority die to that ability check. And finally, trip attack. When you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can expend one superiority die, add the die to the damage roll, and if it's large or smaller, strength save, or it is knocked prone. Overall, minor tweaks to the Battle Master, but I'd say pretty much the same as we've seen before. Next is the Champion. At level 3, your attack rolls with weapons and unarmed strikes crit on 19 or 20. You have advantage on initiative rolls and athletics checks. And when you score critical hits, you can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. That's cool. At level 7, you get another fighting style feat. At this point, compared to 2014, I think that's actually worth it because you can get defense or blind fighting is a good one, or unarmed fighting. I don't know. There's good options. Lots and lots of options. Level 10. During combat, you can give yourself heroic inspiration whenever you start your turn without it. So every turn, you can get cash that in for advantage on something. At level 15, you crit on 18 to 20. And at level 18, you can defy death. You have advantage on death saving throws. And you get the benefit of a 20 if you roll 18 to 20. That's pretty strong. And at the start of each of your turns, you regain hit points equal to 5 plus your Constitution modifier if you are bloodied, which means half HP, and you need to have at least 1 hit point. Ugh. I'm going to re-up my cough drop. Alright, the Eldritch Knight, a very beloved subclass. You can cast spells. I'll let you go through the spells. They are from the wizard spell list. Let me know if you want me to make a video specifically about spell casting. Otherwise, I'm going to breeze through it. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability, and you use an arcane focus for your wizard spells. Okay, level 3. You have a bond between yourself and one weapon. It can be done on a short rest. The bond fails if another fighter is bonded to the weapon, or if the weapon is a magic item to which someone else is attuned. So you can't steal the magic item from someone who's attuned to it. I believe that used to be 2 weapons, but now it's just 1. Oh, okay. You can have up to 2 bonded weapons. I just hadn't read that yet. Once you've bonded a weapon to yourself, you can't be disarmed of that weapon unless you are incapacitated. If it's on the same plane of existence, you can summon it as a bonus action, and it will teleport instantly to your hand. You can have 2 bonded items, but you can only summon 1 at a time with a bonus action. Level 7. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of the attacks with a casting of a wizard cantrip that has a casting time of 1 action. At level 10, you learn how to make your weapon strikes undercut so creatures' ability to withstand your spells. When you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon, that creature has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against a spell that you cast before the end of your next turn. Level 15, Arcane Charge. When you action surge, you can teleport 30 feet. You can teleport before or after the additional action. And then finally, Improved War Magic. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace 2 of the attacks with a casting of one of your level 1 or 2 wizard spells that has a casting time of 1 action. That's cool. I think the way that this is worded allows you, when you have 4 attacks, or 3 attacks technically, you can replace 1 with a cantrip, and then 2 with a level 1 or 2 spell. Except that probably breaks the rules of spellcasting. I don't know, it might, but rules is written. It sounds possible. So, otherwise, not much has changed, but I think the restrictions are lifted on what types of spells you can choose. Yeah, I don't see anything about, because I think it used to be evocation and abjuration spells only. But, yeah, 3 level spells from the wizard spell list. And it even includes jump, which is cool. Yeah. Alright. So, only, pretty much all the same. Except, I think, just improvements for the Eldritch Knight. Minor tweaks. And then that brings us to the Psi Warrior. And this will probably be the last one that I do. I was going to do 2 more, but my throat is not doing awesome, so I will have to press pause. Excuse me, after this one. Alright. Psi Warrior. You get your Psi Warrior energy dice. Starts off at a D6, goes up to a D12. You regain 1 on a short rest, and all of them when you finish a long rest. Wow. And you can get up to 12. You start with 4 and go all the way to 12. That's pretty great. Alright. Protective Field is at level 3 something you can do with these dice. When you or another creature within 30 feet takes damage, you can use your reaction and a psionic energy die and reduce the damage taken by the roll plus your intelligence modifier. You can do a psionic strike once on each of your turns after you hit a target and deal damage to it. You can expend a psionic energy die and deal force damage equal to the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. So you get a defense and offense and now a movement. You can move an object with your mind as a magic action. Choose 1 target you can see within 30 feet of yourself. It must be a loose object that is large or smaller, or a willing creature other than you. You can transport that target up to 30 feet. If the target is a tiny object, you can transport it to or from your hand. So that's cool. You can like Mjolnir a weapon back to you. That's fun. I like that. Alright. Level 7. A psi-powered leap. As a bonus action, gain a fly speed equal to twice your speed until the end of your current turn. And you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest, unless you expend a psionic energy die to restore your use of it. So you get 1 use for free. After that, you have to use dice. And then you can also do telekinetic thrust. When you deal damage to a target with your psionic strike, force the target to make a strength save using your intelligence modifier. On a failed save, they are prone, or you can transport it up to 10 feet horizontally. Sorry, no vertically. Can't make them take fall damage. Unless you teleport them horizontally off of a cliff, and then they can fall. Level 10, Guarded Mind. You have resistance to psychic damage, always good. If you start your turn with the Charmed or Frightened condition, expend a psionic energy die, and end every effect on yourself giving you those conditions. Very nice. Level 15, shield yourself with telekinetic force. Bonus action, choose creatures, including yourself, within 30 feet of you, equal to up to your intelligence modifier. And each of those creatures has half cover for 1 minute, or until you're incapacitated. And you can do that once per long rest, or expend a psionic energy die to do it again. And then finally, Telekinetic Master. You always have telekinesis prepared. You can cast it without a spell slot or components. That's nice because you don't have any spell slots. I guess with your other 2 levels, you could multi-class into Wizard and get spell slots. No spell slots, no components. And your spellcasting ability is Intelligence. On each of your turns, while you are concentrating on it, including when you cast it, you can make 1 attack with a weapon as a bonus action. It's nice. Once you cast a spell with this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest, or you can do it again with a psionic energy die. Cool. That's going to be it for this video and for this stream. I hope that you got some good stuff out of the first 5 classes. I'm going to pick up with the monk in the next video. So I'm going to rest up my voice, and then I'll get back to it as soon as possible. So see you later.